What's going on, guys? This is Chandler Smith, and we've kind of decided to change directions. With lumber increases and everything else, we've decided to sell our home with where it's at. We're gonna get the roof on and the windows in. However, price increases have just been nuts, and right now just isn't the right time. So in this video, I'm gonna talk to you about kind of the bind we're in, how we're gonna be able to get out of it. And so with all of that being said, let's jump into it. I haven't wanted to do this video, but also I've always tried to be very transparent on the channel. And I know people have been asking a lot about the finances on the home. And I've hesitated to talk about it because originally we thought we were gonna get just a screaming deal, and I thought I'd run the numbers over and over. However, COVID hit and we still decided we wanted to go through with it. What sucks is there was some lag on the property. And so in that time, you know, things dipped, but we didn't time that well. And so then everything's kind of exploded. So when it comes to the price of lumber, the price of windows, I mean, lumber's gone up over 100%, and that's what we had to spend on it. But then you look at the windows, the roofing, and then a lot of other costs that we're not going to get to. Everything is getting 10, 20, 30% price increases, which on a home like this, upwards of $500,000 to $1 million in changes. I'm gonna talk about why this happened and then kind of our plan moving forward. So we're gonna head into the house. It's kind of sunny out here and we'll just jump into things. All right, guys, if you haven't caught on already, I am definitely punking you, but only half punking you. The things about everything going up in price are true. Me selling the house, that's not true. I just wanted to clickbait you a little bit. If you're super mad about the clickbait, make sure that you just go watch one of my other videos and smash the like button there. But if you're not upset about the clickbait and you want me to run through all of the numbers and the financials of the house, remember to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the little bell. And I'm gonna open up the books on this home and talk about where we've been over on price, what things are looking like, and how that's going to affect us, and also how we're planning on adjusting for it. So remember to smash the like button, and we're gonna jump into it. All right, ready? Oh, this is our pool. It is frozen right now, and I'm gonna jump into the numbers on things. For you that are following the market and lumber prices and everything else, I know a lot of you have asked, Chandler, how are you doing with this house? Because everything's exploded in price because of COVID. So there are a couple things that have caused this. Number one, I'm gonna put this stat up here. The amount of people that have taken out permits to start building is absolutely insane. On top of that, with COVID, there are a ton of people that were doing renovations. And so lumber in general, there is a huge need for it. They're really struggling to keep up with that need, especially with a lot of the COVID issues that have happened. And so because of that, lumber prices have spiked. Now, they're not the only thing that spiked. For example, our concrete, after we had to do a little extra engineering and because of COVID, we're actually gonna be over budget on our concrete by $30,000. And for those of you that are saying, well, Chandler, isn't that on your builder? Like, didn't you agree to a price and get it locked in? If you're doing a smaller home, 100%, you should do that. However, with these bigger homes, builders are not willing to agree to, you know, locking in the price. There's so many different things that go into the home that can change the price. And so we actually did a cost plus model. Essentially how a cost plus model works is you've got your labor, you've got all of your expenses for the materials, and then you have an additional percent that goes to the general contractor on top of it. And so we get to see all the receipts and then the added percentage. We're cost plus 12% on this home. And some people might say that's high, some people might say it's low. The truth is we went with a builder that we knew had an incredible reputation, and he is 100% worth it. And we've seen that up to this point. And he's really tried to help us to time things so that we don't get in too much trouble while all of these expenses are going through the roof, and so that he can stay on top of his subs because they've worked with him for years. And so that's something we were willing to do. However, post-COVID, when prices are exploding, cost plus definitely sucks. Here is what we've kind of had to do. First of all, we recognize that everyone continues to do price increases because people aren't slowing down. With interest rates so low, and I'll give you an example of this. Interest rates were at 5%, oh, it's been like 2 years ago. Right now, you can get as low as like 2.5% interest rate. So if you're building a $500,000 home, at a 2.5% interest rate, you can afford probably a $775,000 home and have the same payment as a $500,000 home on a 5% interest rate. So having interest rates like this, it's insane. And so even though prices are going up, everyone recognizes, holy cow, I can lock in a lower payment even if I'm paying more. And that's why people are continuing to build even though prices are continuing to go up. Now, for those of you that timed it up perfectly where you got the extremely low interest rates and all of these price increases hadn't happened and you timed the market, congratulations. Now, might there be another opportunity for this? There might, but I'm not going to fall into that category because I very obviously didn't time it that great. So what we've had to do is a couple things. First off, we're trying to get ahead of all of our expenses. For example, we're not putting in floors forever, but I've already got those ordered so that I can lock in the prices. And since then, there've already been like 10 to 15% increases in price. All right, guys, fun fact for you. These windows were part of the plans, but they actually don't make windows this big in the windows that we're using. We're actually using Andersen 100s, and I'm gonna talk about that more in our next video once we get these in. But we're gonna actually have to frame this up about a foot so that this window isn't too big. Now, we could have gone and got their like store windows, but we didn't like the framing of those, so we decided we were down to give up a foot on the bottom of our view so that we could get windows that we liked that fit. Just a lot of stuff that I thought you just said, hey, we want windows, but there's like hours worth of going through getting what you want. Even though we weren't completely ready for windows, we got that order in as soon as we could. Same with our roof. We actually ordered our roof way in advance to try and lock in the prices. And now it's going up, but it's been sitting in the shop for months and months now. Trying to time it and get ahead of it and lock in the prices has been big. The other thing, and this is just a little secret that I know not everyone can take advantage of, everything is negotiable. Even though I'm on cost plus with my builder and he has all of the suppliers that he consistently uses, I have shopped out everything. With garage doors, for example, I got my builder's supplier and their price, and then I went to someone else and I got their price, and then I went to someone else and got their price, and then I got them to work the price down, and then I brought up that I was gonna be putting it on my YouTube channel and got them to drop it even more, and then I went to whoever had the lowest price possible. Now, getting the lowest price with labor, not always the smartest thing, and so I don't push on that, but when it comes to suppliers, and I can get them, 5, 10, 15, 20% down on the supplies, whether it's garage doors, windows, anything else, I'm gonna push them as hard as I can and get a bunch of different people involved. If you're in a situation like me where you're trying to build in this market and still take advantage of interest rates before they go up, you can do that and you can save a ton of money, especially on a house this size. So guys, I'm actually super hyped about this movie room, and it's really hard because I wanna show you like all of the updates, but I'm also trying to spread it out so it's not like, oh, we got a wall framed and then I do another video. So we waited until they start on the roof to do this video, and the focus of this video is definitely going to be the finances, but it is pretty exciting to see the movie theaters coming together. Also, this room before didn't have the door. They had framed it incorrectly. They were trying to cook through this to just get the necessity so they could build up and get everything covered before they do all the inner walls. And so this is gonna be my wife's music room, and it's gonna be sick. So we're super excited. We might film some videos there in the future too. Now with this process, I wanna try and be super transparent with all of the pricing and expenses, the mistakes, the things that have worked out correctly. And so I'll just tell you, our original bid on this home was going to be right around $1.8 million. Now that's not including the land, which we have another $400,000 into. So we got a very good loan on the property, and I actually got it on a building loan locked at 3.7% interest rates with a one-time close. Now, if you don't know what this means, essentially it means I don't have to reclose when the home is finished. I could just keep that 3.7. And for a jumbo that was well over a jumbo, this is actually a really good setup. Now, the reason I'm sharing this with you is in Idaho, I shopped this out a ton, and I wanted a one-time close because I was worried interest rates might go up. But if I get to the end of this house and I can go renegotiate and get an even lower interest rate, I would be totally down for that because I also negotiated almost no closing costs so that I could do that if interest rates were lower than what they were when I got it locked in. But then if they went up, I wouldn't have to reclose or pay any other closing costs and I'd be set. So I feel like I did pretty well with interest rates, the financing. I feel like I've done well negotiating on materials and trying to keep them down. However, we are still very early on in the process. And so if you are someone or you know someone locally here in Idaho Falls, Idaho, that can hook me up with a fat deal to be on the YouTube channel, I am always open to people reaching out. The other thing I wanted to say is I shopped out interest rates super hard for a jumbo loan here in Idaho Falls. And I feel like for my market, I killed it. However, as I've done more research, I've come to find that if I can find a lender in an area like California, where they're very used to dealing with jumbo loans, you know, multi-million-dollar homes, that I think I should be able to get a lower interest rate than what I have and hopefully low closing costs. So if you've got a connection there, you can send me an email at chandlerdavidsmithbusiness@gmail.com. So if anybody wants to be part of the house, part of the future videos, you want to help me get a killer deal on a lot of the stuff that I still haven't purchased for the home, make sure you let me know. Or if you've got a connection with interest rates, I would love to know and work out a relationship. I'm also looking into a lot of different smart home options, and I think I have one picked, but who knows? If you've got a company and you want to team up, let me know because I want to make this house sick. And that means connecting with the best people in the industry for all of these things. So let's connect. Now, I've kind of skirted around the finances throughout this video. I've explained how price increases have happened and kind of how it's affected us. But I know a lot of people want to know, Chandler, how much more are you going to have to pay with things? My builder has told me that he thinks somewhere between $250,000 and $500,000, depending on how we do our finishes and what could potentially happen with price increases. Now, I know that's an all over the map price, but people just don't know. Like, prices are so insane right now. COVID's going nuts, and it's kind of put us in a weird situation where it's hard to lock it down. The one thing my builder has said is, you know, everything we can get locked down, we can get ordered, we can get coming, you're going to be able to save a lot more because you know the price isn't going to change once that's locked in. And when it comes to labor, you're not going to have that spike too much. And so we're working really hard to get things locked in. Now, my goal is that an average person, without negotiating, without a YouTube channel, without some of the resources that I have, would pay between $250,000 and $500,000, potentially more than what the original bid is because of all of these spikes. However, with our windows, with our roof, with our flooring, with some of these things we've been able to get locked in, we have been able to save a substantial amount. And so again, if you have connections, let me know because I'm going to show you guys all of the numbers. And if I lose on this, I lose on this. I think that's the last thing that I wanted to say is if you're going to build a dream home, you have to be prepared for worst case scenario. And when COVID hit, we knew that things could go crazy. We knew potentially prices could go way down, or potentially and most likely prices would go way up because it was going to be harder to get access to these things. And so I have planned for this. I have prepared for it. Is it uncomfortable to have to spend more? 100%. But are we comfortable dealing with it? Well, we've tried to do everything we can so that we can build our dream house. We don't have to cut corners. We're going to be happy with the finished product, and we're not going to be in a place where we have to sell the home or take out bankruptcy or sell any apartments to be able to stay afloat. You now know what I was expecting. I was expecting to pay $1.8 million for the house and the $400,000 we had into the land, which obviously is a little bit over $2 million. And I haven't come clean on that was what we were going to do for sure. However, right now, if we're under 2.5 million, I'm gonna be pumped. But if we can wheel and deal and make it happen to be at that 2.2 total with the land, I'm going to be ecstatic. Now, if we end up at 3 million, I'm gonna be pretty upset. However, if that happens, I'm gonna be very open about it and share all of those numbers with you guys. So if you enjoyed this video where I talked about the finances more in the home, please let me know in the comments. Make sure that you like, subscribe, hit the little bell, and let me know what you think of these videos in the comments. If you just wanna see the fun stuff of the home, by all means, we can do that. However, if you want one of these videos every couple months, just sharing the financial situation and some of the deals we were able to work, then I'm happy to do that with you as well. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. and we'll look forward to seeing you in my future videos where my goal is to help you to build a huge passive income so then you can afford the things that you want to be a part of your lifestyle. Thanks guys, have a great day.